So guys, Marvel Rivals is here, and today we're going to be doing a breakdown on all 33 playable heroes, starting off with the tanks, then the DPS, and then we'll move over to the supports. And if you want to skip to a certain character, I'll have timestamps in the description as always. But for that being said, let's start off here with the Hulk. So going over to his hero profile, he of course has team up abilities with Doctor Strange and Iron Man, where he's just able to give them basic boosts. And then also Wolverine, where he's able to pick him up and kind of throw him, which is really funny to see in game. I won't be able to show you all of those really great because I'm here on my own. But yeah, Bruce's basic abilities, he has a gun, pretty self-explanatory, and a grenade, which is able to launch enemies into the air. But you're not really going to be spending most of your time as Bruce Banner, hopefully, so you'll be wanting to turn into the Hulk, which is his ult, which gives you a whole load of other abilities. So his RB is a little clap, which sends out a projectile to do damage. His basic fire is his punches. He is then also able to stun enemies as well, so they're able to just be frozen there for a little bit of time, and then you deal damage to them. And then for his X, he's able to give nearby allies and himself a little gamma shield, which is really cool. Then for his ultimate, he goes into a rage, and if you use the ult whilst in his ult, he does a secondary animation which just grabs people, which is really cool. His attacks get enhanced, so he's able to just, with his melee, just punch people away, similar to a Winston ult, and then all of his other abilities also get enhanced in some way. His clap range attack is bigger and does more damage, I believe, and then I think his shield is also... Oh no, he loses the shield. Okay, so yeah, just all of his assault stuff just gets enhanced, which is really funny. Here's the animation for that again. It does end early if they die, so that's one thing to note. And yeah, that's basically it for the Hulk. Then next up here we have Groot, so going over his passive skills and stuff. He has a team ability there with Jeff and Rocket, so they can ride on him basically and get some damage resistance, which is really good considering that they are both support heroes. And then for his passives, his wolves will awaken whenever he's near them, granting them additional benefits. So going over Groot's basic kit, he has a grenade, which explodes and then sends out little mini explosives. And then he's able to, for his other two abilities, create wolves. Now whenever he is near them, they awaken and they get extra abilities. So these glow, and then he has little smaller walls as well. I believe these ones give bonus health, and then these ones are meant to attack stuff. So yeah, he's able to just wall off entire rooms basically of enemies, trap them, make them so they don't escape. And yeah, just really satisfying stuff there overall. And then for his ult, he sends out a little bomb, which is meant to latch onto enemies, but they just immediately died. So if we just go over here and grab that again, here we go. Send out the bomb. And it latches enemies in and does damage over time right there. And you can see the walls as I'm near them. And they'll be doing some attacks as well. So yeah, really fun character. Can be really funny. As yeah, so these walls do attacks. And then this big wall gives you some over health. Which is really helpful. And yeah, that's basically Groot. Then for the next hero, we have Thor. This is his basic kit overview. He has a team up ability with Hela and Loki, where Hela, if she lands a final blow, was able to revive both of them or just grant them bonus health if they are still alive. And then Thunderous Deity with Captain America and Storm. He's able to just basically buff these two heroes, giving Storm a lightning barrage and then giving Captain America increased movement speed. And his shield is imbued with thunder power, electrocuting nearby enemies. So going over Thor's basic stuff, you're probably noticing that he has 3 little hammers underneath his reticle, and then some hammers above his abilities. So before, you actually need these hammers in order to use these certain abilities. So for his LT, he just swings his hammer and then launches it and flies with it. That uses up 1 hammer. He's then able to use RB to throw his hammer and it recalls back to him. Whenever you do this, also uses 1 hammer. And then if you use your LB near an enemy, will actually regenerate some of the hammers needed. So that's the 4 force there in order to use his other abilities. That's basically just a free regen. And then when you have 3 hammers or 3 4 force, you can go into a lightning state and just launch out lightning projectiles, which is really good and has some more range there. And yeah, it's basically Thor. We go over to his ult here. Run over here and grab it real quick. He does a little like AoE thing, so he goes into the air, summons lightning down, and then will land off and just smack down. Very self-explanatory, really fun. Next up, moving on to the next tank, let's go over to Doctor Strange. This is his profile here, able to have a team up there with the Hulk and Iron Man. Hulk is able to buff him in some way. And for his passive, if you stack up too much dark magic, he'll actually be hit with an anti-heal. So let's explain that first. First up, Doctor Strange, primary fire, sends out little magical bolts. And you're seeing that whenever I deal damage, I'm building up these stacks. This is the dark magic thing that I was talking about. When it's at 100, you're at anti-heal and you can't be healed, which really sucks. If you use RB, you can relinquish all of those stacks and do a little AoE attack around you. So you're going to be wanting to do that pretty often if you're landing consistent hits and damage. So just release that and it does a little bit of damage there, which is really good. He does also have the ability to jump in the air and kind of Okay, I messed up there. Let's just go over the wall. He's able to block damage. Pretty self-explanatory. And he's able to relinquish that whenever he wants. Really, really good. For his Y ability, he's able to make a portal. So the entrance to the portal stays by him, and then he can just place the exit wherever he wants. So let's just place it right there. One thing to note, enemies can use the portal so they can come through it. It's a two-way portal. You can send projectiles through it if you want. Some stuff that people do with it is they put it near enemy spawns, so then when they leave spawn, they immediately fall off the map or something. Really, really funny. That's his portal. And then for his LB, he's able to float, which is really, really cool. You can ascend, you can descend, you can just do pretty much anything. It's just a movement tool there. And then finally, for Dude's ultimate, come over here, run over to the enemies. You can see it sends out these little green replicas, which you are able to shoot at, and it's kind of like a time stop ability there, and makes it more easily for you to shoot at your targets. And yeah, that's Doctor Strange. Moving on, next, let's talk Venom. This is his hero profile. Has a team up there with Spider-Man and Penny Parker, where he gives them bonus abilities, gives them some Venom powers. And his passive, press A to wall crawl, and while wall crawling, press RT to sprint. So, Venom here. Basic attack, sends out these tentacles. His LT sends out these things, which latch on to enemies, allowing them to not escape him, which is really, really good. LB is a web swing, and then X, you're able to dive down. Basically just a dive tank, which is very, very satisfying. And then if you use his RB near a group of enemies, he will actually gain an overshield. So you basically just dive in, use a shield, get some bonus health, and then just go to town with all of his abilities. Go over to the web crawl, where you just, yep, this is him. Wall running. Very, very mobile tank, so I want to keep an eye out for there. And yeah, off the wall, able to just dive down. Very, very fun kit. And the web swing works similar to Spider-Man's. So yeah, very, very cool stuff there. Oh, just saved myself there. Now let's talk about the ult. So come back here. Goes underground. And then he just eats people. Really, really fun kit. Basic dive tank. Really, really cool stuff there for Venom. Moving on, let's talk Penny Parker, another spider hero tank. So for a primary fire, she has these like cannons which shoot out ranged projectiles. For her LT, she shoots out these little webs everywhere. And then if you press B, you're actually able to just launch yourself to them, which can be kind of useful. Then for her LB, she's able to put down this robot, which sends out a big web as load as a load of mini explosive mines, which you can see doing damage to targets. And then she also has another bomb as well, which is like an AoE bomb. So yeah, very bomb focused on this hero, and it's really, really cool. For her ultimate though, she does talk a lot. That is one thing that I don't like about this character. She just goes crazy sending out webs and mines and tentacles, not tentacles, these arms, and then do damage. So yeah, oh, she just does not stop talking, huh? Yeah, that's basically Penny Parker. A load of mines, load of bombs, arms that come out of her, and an ult. Okay, let's get off of her, she's annoying. Captain America next. This is his team-up ability there with Thor and Storm, basically buffing him in ways, and these are all of his abilities. So, for Cap's basic stuff, LT, he has a shield, which is able to reflect incoming projectiles. Very self-explanatory there. For his LB, he throws his shield, of course. Basic attack, punches you, also pretty self-explanatory. And he's also able to throw the shield in this as well, if you're near other enemies. Like you see in there, that's really, really cool actually. Holy. RB, he sprints. Fearless leap, does a little jump. And a dive. This guy has a lot of abilities, not gonna lie, holy. And yeah, got a whole load of stuff. Seems like his primary fire, he's also able to throw the shield occasionally. So that's really, really cool. Here we go to town here. And then for his X, he has a little dash, which is able to charge in there with his shield. And yeah, that's Captain America's basic stuff. We should get to his ultimate real quick. Guessing this gives him some overhealth and just goes to town on enemies, sprinting the whole way. Okay, yeah, so it's just a buff generally when using his ult. Really, really cool stuff there. And then for the final tank, talk Magneto here. So we go back to his kit there. He has a team up with Wanda. So he's got a sword which he can make. These are all of his abilities. Passive, he can fall slowly. So for his basic attack, shoots out these little projectiles. Very self-explanatory stuff there. For his LT, he has his wall, like all tanks mostly do. For his LB, he shoots out a little long-range projectile. And then for his RB, he's able to give his allies a shield. And then for his Y, he has his shield, which is able to This does have a shared cooldown with his personal shield as well, so that's one thing to note there. So RB gives them a shield, B gives himself a shield, and then for his ultimate, he just creates a ball and throws it. Really, really cool stuff there. This is his personal shield. Once again, shares a cooldown with his ally shield. Yeah, this is the ball. And he throws it. And it does a wide area of damage there. And yeah, that is it for all of the tank heroes. Now let's move over to the DPS. Moving on to the DPS here, let's go and start off with the Punisher. This is your basic soldier hero. These are all of his abilities, and he has a team up there with Rocket, where he's able to give him and Bucky infinite ammo and faster firing. So, first up, he has two weapons. He has an assault rifle, and he has a shotgun. First hero to have two weapons. I think Black Widow also has this. But yeah, basic soldier character. His LT is a smoke grenade. His LB is a... well, I used that terribly. Is a zip line, which is able to use for movement. And then his RB, he calls in a sentry turret and is able to just go to town. Kind of like a bastion here. Very, very fun to use. You are kind of locked here. I believe it has infinite ammo though. That's really cool. And then for his ultimate, he gets a whole load of weapons and just unloads all of them. He has machine guns, rockets, the whole shebang. Basic hero soldier character there. Probably going to be a good one for starting off in the game. And yeah, that's it for that guy. Let's then move over to Hela next. These are her basic abilities there. Came up there with Loki and Thor. So her primary fire sends out these little knives which do a lot of damage. For her LT, sends out these homing knives, which also do a lot of damage. She's a very precision-based character, so if you land those headshots, you're going to be doing really, really good. Also has a bird, a little bit of movement there, and then for her RB, sends out a little ball, which then does some damage there. And then for her ultimate, she goes into the sky and then sends out these little projectiles from high above. I believe you are able to get shot in this mode. That's one thing to take note of. And you can see enemies through walls as well. Moving on, let's talk MoonKnight. This is actually a character I'm really interested in trying out in game. So these are all of his passives. He has a team up there with Cloak and Dagger. So Cloak and Dagger inject him with light and dark energy, creating a light and dark realm where MoonKnight can be invincible. So that's just a really broken ability there. But going over to his basic stuff, his primary fire sends out these things which do ricochet towards other enemies. So if enemies are grouped up, he's going to be doing a whole load of damage. And that's basically what MoonKnight's all about. His LT sends out a little moon disc, which ricochets as well. His RB creates this little totem, which if you shoot at, it'll send its projectiles to enemies within the area, and then they'll just ricochet off to other characters. Super, super cool. His B is a grappling hook. And then when he's in the air, he can jump high, and then he can also glide as well, which is really good for movement. So this guy is just insanely cool. With the ricochet, with the movement, everything. Really, really satisfying to just do this in the practice range. Can't wait to try him in game. And then finally, for his ult, he's able to create a little area. And then it sends down projectiles from the sky. Next up, let's talk Iron Man. These are his basic abilities. Obviously, he has the team up there with the Hulk, giving him a boost. And first off, you'll notice that Burrow flies. First ever flying hero we're talking about today. Primary fire. Shoots out little repulsor beams, which do a lot of damage. His Y powers up and does better, just an overall buff to his ability. And he's able to launch missiles as well. So an overall increased damaging state there. B, able to fly more freely and launch missiles as well. Able to halt there. Yeah, very basic stuff. You need to be in the flight mode to actually use the missiles. And then you can just go back into his enhanced state with all the stuff. And then launch missiles. Yeah. Basic Iron Man stuff. And you can also fly in this state as well. And then finally, for his ult, big AoE explosion. Very, very satisfying. For his RB, also has chest laser, which does a decent amount of damage. Moving on Storm, another flying hero. Looks really, really cool. This is her hero profile. Only a couple of abilities there. So let's go into it. First up, Primary Fire sends out these little lightning projectiles. Why? She changes states, so she goes from lightning to wind. I believe the wind state increases movement speed, and then the lightning state increases damage. That's a thing to be noticing there, kind of like a Lucio changing of modes. Go over to, that's a change. Go back to her RB. Lightning that chains towards enemies. Very, very cool stuff. And then her B enhances all of these things. Sends out lightning strikes. And then this, I believe, will be increasing or like decreasing stuff on the enemies. Not really sure. But yeah, really, really cool character. You can switch between all this stuff. Very, very satisfying to go and do. We should get to the ultimate real quick. And the ultimate, she turns into a tornado. Which is really, really strong. And that's basically it for Storm. Moving on, Black Panther. These are all of his abilities. Has a team up there with Magik and Psylocke. So when Magik's on the field, Black Panther and Psylocke can tap into Limbo to rewind a few seconds back to a previous position. After passing through Limbo, Black Panther and Psylocke will gain bonus health based on missing health. This guy has a lot of abilities. Let's just jump straight into it. First off, Primary Fire. He attacks with his claws. LT sends out a spear. Able to do that a couple times. His LB, his little kick forward, little dash as well. And then he also has a dash on the RB. So a whole load of movement stuff. Don't know why the A isn't available. So let's just... Oh, he's able to climb up walls. And I believe after climbing a wall, he then gets his double jump. Yes, he's able to jump off walls. That basic ability there. Yeah, whole load of movement stuff. Do all this. Has a whole load of movement tech, which is very, very satisfying to do. Now, let's go to his ult. Get that. And... summons a little Panther and is able to do damage to nearby enemies. We go and show you that again. Really quick. Let's show it on the Lunar Snow here. Does pretty much all of her HP if you land that hit. And then the melee as well. Squirrel Girl, one of the more recently announced heroes. These are her abilities. Has a team up there with Spider-Man. So Spider-Man can give Squirrel Girl a web bomb. She can launch it to unleash an explosive upon contact with the environment or an enemy, briefly immobilizing and damaging enemies caught in the blast. 1-star difficulty, so she's going to be pretty easy to go and play. Primary Fire shoots out acorns, which do a whole load of damage. Oh my days. And these should also ricochet off hard surfaces, kind of like Junkrat's Primary Fire as well. Then for LT, has a giant acorn, throws it, and it'll actually immobilize enemies so they aren't able to move. LB is a little bounce. And then for her RB, it just refreshes all of her abilities, and that was really loud. I'm very sorry. So yeah, she's just able to use her stuff twice. The squirrel, for some reason, is very loud. And then for the ultimate, sends out a whole load of squirrels, which then bounce off and come back around. Yeah, that's basically Squirrel Girl. Let's show off Spider-Man. Spider-Man being next, one of the more intricate heroes. So these are all of his abilities. He has a whole load. Obviously got the team up there with Squirrel Girl and Venom. So let's just go over to dude's abilities. First up, Primary Fire. Punches people. LB, Web Swing. He has 3 charges of this as well, which is mental. So his movement is absolutely insane and very, very satisfying to go and do. Other Primary Fire is the webs. He's also able to swing to people that he webs up and does a little uppercut as well. So very, very aggro character. And one that a lot of people are probably going to want to be playing and will probably be terrible at because he is very aggro and requires some amount of skill there to be played correctly. Has a whole load of tech as well for this character. So yeah, very, very cool stuff. Also just web people up. Whole load of combo stuff. Feels like I'm playing a fighting game, to be honest. It's really, really cool. And then obviously the movement is just absolutely insane with this character. So yeah. And if we get to the ultimate, whole AoE attack, webs people up. Really, really cool. Definitely recommend trying out this hero. Really, really fun to just swing around. And yeah, that's it for Spider-Man. Winter Soldier here. Team up with both Rocket Racoon, infinite ammo, and fast firing. These are all of his abilities. So, Bucky has a hand cannon here with 3 shots in it. So not a lot of ammo, but does a lot of damage. For his LT, has his arm, and then grabs people. Very different from the films. His arm actually does a lot more than it does in the movies. If I showed it off again. LT, charge up. You can just roadhog hook people towards you. Very, very cool. LB, a little dash and a punch. Does some decent damage. And then for an RB, has a little like grenade as well. And yeah, those are his basic abilities. Let's just go and try out his ultimate here, which is the main fun of this character. So, okay, if I actually hit someone, that would be great. So, ultimate does a kill, and then when he gets a kill with it, he's able to do it again. You tag people, they get marked. If you kill a marked person, you can just infinitely ult, which is absolutely fair and balanced. As you can see, you can just infinitely do this, which is so dumb. And yeah, that's Bucky. Psylocke here, another one of the newer characters released. Obviously team up there with Magik with the time stuff. Yeah, this is Psylocke. Primary fire. Sends out a little shotgun spread of projectiles. LT sends out more shurikens, which then can return to you, and they do damage when they return. Has a little dash on the LB, and then can go invisible on the RB. Really, really fun character. And then for the ultimate, area of attacks. Anybody caught in the area receives damage. Very, very fun. Show off the return there. Very, very cool hero. Wolverine, one of my favourites here. Let's go over to his kit. We got the team up there with Hulk, the fastball special. Going over to Bro's abilities, obviously primary fire, got the claws. Now you're seeing that whenever I deal damage, I am building up this rage meter underneath my reticle. When that gets to 100, I do bonus damage, and my hair changes. Very, very cool. Really, really satisfying to get this done. LT, little dash and does a little slash. LB, I charge at people. Nope, I jump over people actually. And then your normal attack gets enhanced, as you can see there. So at 100% rage, you're going to be doing a whole load of damage. And then his RB is a little like protection thing. So this like basically gives him damage resistance. So you can just go in and just melee people. Okay, I'm really showing off that ability really bad. But you can actually just latch onto people and then like take them with you. So I'm going to try and get that here once it comes back on cooldown. So I'm right behind and you can just take them anywhere. Going to be very funny to see if you can like take people off the map and then try and save yourself. That'll be good stuff to see. And then for his ultimate, launches in the air. And then does a dive attack. Anybody caught in that initial launch in the air will get sent in the air, and you can just dive down with them to the ground, which is really, really cool. And that's basically it for Wolverine. Next hero on the list, let's go back to the top and talk Hawkeye. Hero profile, these are all of his abilities, has a team up there with Black Widow, so Hawkeye can share his hunter's sight with Black Widow, enabling her to catch, sight, and damage of after images of enemies. So, basically, has a bow and arrow, charges up, deals some damage. That was his explosive arrow. Basic charge up arrow, but if you aim at a target, that should be charging up and will do bonus damage. Really, really cool. Has a little sonic boom arrow, so another projectile style attack. And then he has a little axe slash. So he's got his sword there as well. That's why. Has his explosive arrows. Good for AoE team up damage. Really, really cool. And then there's the primary arrow again with the bonus damage there. Very, very satisfying. And then his melee is actually able to deflect projectiles if you can land it correctly. There's a little... Yeah, I really suck at this. Yeah, able to deflect projectiles with his basic melee. Okay, let's do it on this guy. So, I use my ult. And then you can see after images. If I shoot the after image, it's like I'm shooting them, even though I'm not. Really, really cool. And yeah, that's basically Hawkeye. Let's talk Magik. So, team up stuff obviously there with Black Panther and Psylocke. Those are all of her passives if you want to read those. And then her ult turns her into a Dark Child. Those are all of those abilities as well. So, Magik here. Basic attack, got the sword. LT, able to do a slash there with the sword. I believe it throws it. That might be... Nope, that's a dash with RB. I believe this throws the sword. Nope, might just do a ranged attack. Yeah, very, very cool. LB, little portal dash. Then enhances the basic there. The portal, basic, and do a little swing. I like how characters in the game have like team up stuff with their basic abilities. So, like combos in fighting games. Very, very cool. Yoink, throw stuff. Portal in. swing. Very, very cool. Then for her ultimate, she turns into Darkchild, which enhances all of her abilities, basically doing more damage, hitting them with a dot multiple times. You know how it goes. Really, really cool stuff. And this lasts for a very long time, surprisingly. Yeah, that's basically it for Magik. Next, Black Widow. Now, this character in the trailer was shown one-shotting people with her sniper, but happy to confirm that that is not the case. If we see here, okay, that character was low. Let's do it on Lunar Snow here. Full health, headshot does not kill, but gets them very, very weak. So not as problematic as I initially thought in the trailer. So she just leaves them one shot basically if you hit headshot. She has 2 weapons similar to other characters. These are her melee sticks. If I get up close, does some pretty decent damage. And she's also able to use the sniper without aiming down sights, which is really, really cool. Whenever you do a shot, there's a little rewind or reload feature there. So shoot, then you can't immediately shoot again. So I'll go through the whole animation of loading another shot. For her RB, has a sprint, and it can do a enhanced jump. Then LB does a kick, and then can grapple and kick again. You can't grapple away from people. That seems to be a one and done ability. So you kick, grapple towards, and then kick again. Seems to be how that ability works. Yeah, that's it for Black Widow, apart from her ult. Let's show this off. So, goes first person, and sends out this little area, which does slow down enemy movement, so they're able to more easily line up those headshots. Yeah, that's everything for Black Widow. Very fun character, very happy she does not one-shot headshot immediately with a sniper, unlike Hawkeye, who has a little charge-up meter there. Next DPS character, we have Scarlet Witch. These are her basic abilities, all you can see there. So, primary fire has a little suck, kind of like Moira from Overwatch. It's going to be very, very annoying to deal with that. No aim required, you just aim in general direction, and you'll just do damage. Really, really cool. LT sends out little projectiles, which use up the meter here that you're seeing under her reticle, do a basic attack to then fill those back up, and then you've got ranged bombs. LB sends out a little bomb, which does something, it seems. Damage over time there, you saw. If we get that back, I'll show you it better. But yeah, damage over time kind of orb zone thing. Doing this guy. You can see them taking damage within that zone, and then she's also able to fly and kind of go into a ghostly form there. And then to end off, let's talk about her ultimate. We go over all the way over here. Ultimate is a big AoE explosion, which killed all of them. And yeah, that's it for Scarlet Witch. Very fun character. A lot of range on that primary fire as well, so that's one thing to note. Oh my days. No way, that guy. Yeah, okay. There's some range limit to it, but that is a lot of distance you cover with that primary fire. Let's do Star-Lord next. So, Star-Lord's basic abilities here, you can see on screen. He has a team up there with Adam Warlock, so he's able to revive himself after dying, which is one of Adam Warlock's abilities. For his basic attack, got 2 pistols. Does a whole load of damage if you land those headshots. Really, really high amounts of damage there. Has a little dodge, which does actually reload his pistols. Has a little Reaper style ult, similar to Spider-Man, but that's just on a basic ability, which is really, really cool. And then Bro can just fly whenever he wants. And do all of his other stuff. Very, very mobile character there for the DPS. We get to his ultimate real quick. We'll also show you that he also has aimbot. And auto reload. And can fly. So, yeah. Very fun character. Very strong character. And yeah. That's basically it for Star-Lord. Namor next. These are all his abilities. Has a team up there with Lunar Snow. Lunar Snow infuses ice energy into Namor and Jeff, the Land Shark, who can tap into ice energy to power up their abilities. I believe that powers up his octopus turret there. Let's go over. Basic attack. Throws his trident. Has a ranged projectile. Really, really good damage there overall. LT. Spins it around and throws it again for more damage, I'm assuming. LT. And then he also has this little shield, which is able to fly with. And yeah, that's Namor. Turrets, trident throwing, a lot of cool stuff there. Let's go over to his ult, where he summons a giant whale. and then lands on people. Yeah, I think bro's also able to fly or hover because he has wings. Yeah. If you go off a ledge, you can just float down because he has wings on his feet. And he has more movement in this little shield orb as well. That's it for Namor. So let's end off the DPS here with Iron Fist. These are all of his abilities. Has a team up there with Lunar Snow. Iron Fist channels the chi of Xiao into Lunar Snow. Probably said that wrong, but I'm sorry. Transforming her ice power into chi-infused frosty ring that radiates from her. This ring can launch up enemies and chilling damage, then applies a slowing effect, or simultaneously healing her allies. So a basic buff there for Lunar Snow when Iron Fist is on the team. So bro has a lot of stuff for his kit. First up, he has multiple jumps, so he's a very mobile character. Basic attack, kicks about, punches, has a little lock on there, so when you're in range he'll just get towards an enemy. Basic punches when you're on the ground. If you're in the air, he trades them in for some kicks. Very, very satisfying. LT is a block, so if you block these he gets bonus health, and he gains an enhanced basic attack with a whole lot of damage. LB is a spin kick, which can push enemies away. RB is a self-heal, which does give over health. Yeah, take a note of that. Enhanced basic, like I said, and a whole load of jumps. Very, very mobile character, very, very satisfying character. Let's go over to bro's ultimate here, which buffs everything he does. Basic attack gets enhanced, whole load of stuff. He gets, oh no, not a decreased cooldown, it seems like. Yeah, whole load of damage there on his basics. Can deflect a whole load of stuff. Yeah, very, very active, very mobile character here, to say the least. And yeah, one that's going to be very, very fun to play overall. And I believe he also has a wall run, which I'll show off here now. And there's the wall run. And yeah, that, I believe, is all of the DPS characters. So let's finally end off this video here with talking about the support roster of characters. Starting off here with Loki. These are all of his abilities. There's a team up there with Hela. So, basic attack, shoots out little projectiles from his staff. LT, able to create a clone of himself and go invisible, and is able to swap locations with the clone. Pretty cool stuff there. I believe he can make multiple clones. That might be one of his other abilities. Able to create a healing little area there. And these are all of his clones, which do also attack when he attacks. So it can be very, very confusing. And he can swap positions with all of his clones as well. So yeah, very fun support hero there. Or strategist, I should say. So yeah. Now let's go over to his ultimate. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Primary fire also heals. That's his main way of healing. So a lot of healing there if you put out all of his decoys. So yeah, going over to his ultimate now. He takes the identity of any other hero. So I don't know how this is going to work in the practice range. Let's go Lunar Snow, because she's actually here. So, shapeshift. And then you get all of Lunar Snow's abilities. Yeah, kind of like an Echo situation there from Overwatch. Also get their ults. Yeah, you can just do anything that those heroes could do. I don't know how long this lasts. 10 wow, that's a long timer. That green little marker there, that dictates how long this lasts. Yeah, that's basically Loki. Moving on to the next, let's talk Lunar Snow, considering that we transferred over into her. These are all her abilities, has team-ups there with Jeff, Namor, and Iron Fist. So, to basically break it all down, her primary fire heals people and deals damage. Oh, okay, so I throw this on a person, and then when I heal them, they also get healed. Nice. Okay, it's not as much healing, but it's still a little bit of healing. RB is a little buff, which changes her normal attack into that, and then provides more healing. And then her LB, the little thing there, so I heal this guy, and then the bot gets healed. And then LT is a snowball that freezes people. So that's basically Lunar Snow. Very cool character. Moving on to the ultimate. She does a little thing where she dances, and I believe this heals. Yep, seems to be healing all these guys within it. And yeah, kind of like a Zenyatta style ult there. And that's everything there for Lunar Snow. Next up, let's talk Mantis. These are her basic abilities. Obviously has to team up there with Adam Warlock. Now going into her basic kit. Primary fire sends out projectiles which do a lot of damage, surprisingly. Pretty cool stuff there. For her LT, throws out a healing orb at people and uses those little leaf icons For her LB, throws out damage boosting ones, so you can heal as well as damage boost. Doing damage gives you back those little charges which you need in order to heal and also damage boost. RB puts enemies to sleep, so that's basically a stun. If they get shot, they are out of it. And then B, you use one of those charges to then give yourself a damage boost as well. And then for the ultimate here, we use it, and it should give healing over time, a movement speed boost, and just a whole load of benefits for you and your allies. So yeah, that's Mantis. Okay, moving on, let's go and talk about Cloak and Dagger next. These are all their abilities. Has a team up there with MoonKnight, able to make him invincible, which is really, really cool. These are Dagger's abilities, and then you have Cloak here as well. Seems that Cloak is mainly there for damage and support, and then Dagger is there for the healing. So, let's go over all of Dagger's abilities first. Primary Fire sends out these little daggers, obviously, which do some okay damage. These daggers are also used for healing, as you can see there. Seems to be an AoE heal, so whenever you land a hit, they will grant some healing. Seems to be the same for when you hit an enemy, so you can just hit enemies, and then if an ally is near that enemy, they will also get healed. LT sends out a healing dome, which does healing over time, and then LB sends out a wall of healing as well. So a whole load of healing abilities here on Dagger. But if you switch over to Cloak, he has his own set of abilities, like a alternate primary fire, which is kind of similar to Wanda's, or Scarlet Witch's, sorry. A whole lot more damage there, so that's where all the damage for this character comes from, mainly from Cloak. His LB sends forward a blinding wall rather than a healing one, so enemies will be blind if they get hit by that. And then for Bro's support, he can make people invulnerable and also is able to fly when in that state. This also makes people able to dodge enemy ultimates, which can be very, very good. Switch back to them. Yeah, you can switch freely, which is very, very cool. Interesting to note, they don't share ability cooldowns. So if you can freely use all of Dagger's abilities and then switch over to Cloak's and then use all of his, which is really, really cool. I thought they would have shared a cooldown there, but they don't, which is kind of weird, but also really awesome. Now for the ultimate, they all come out and they dash in a direction and leave behind this trail. Enemies caught in the trail receive damage, allies caught in the trail receive healing. Yeah, it's probably going to be actually one of my favourite sport characters going over this now. This is really, really fun. Yeah, they all get healed when standing in it, and the allies and the enemies take damage. Moving on, done Lunar Snow, let's talk Rocket Raccoon. Really basic support here, has a whole load of abilities, has a team up there with Groot as well as Bucky, Winter Soldier and Punisher. So, Bro's primary fire has a machine gun, does a whole load of damage. His alternate fire sends out these healing orbs. Oh, they're a lot slower than they were in the beta. That's good. Yeah, sends out healing orbs, they bounce off stuff as to heal allies. Has his little jetpack there, so he's able to get some movement. And then he has a respawn beacon, so if an ally dies, they'll get respawned at the beacon. So yeah, that's basically all of his abilities. Let's go over to his ultimate there, which creates this thing, which boosts damage of all your allies. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory support, very, very fun, very basic, and also very, very good. That's everything for Rocket. Moving on, let's talk Adam Warlock. These are all of his abilities. Has the team up there where he's able to give Mantis as well as Star-Lord the revive. So, going over, primary fire. Has a little staff there which sends out projectiles. For his LT, charges up and sends all the projectiles out at once. RB is a heal which ricochets off people. Very, very good. And if we then find a way of dying, I can show you the revive here. So if I jump off the map, I should be able to presumably show you the revive. We just do this. Okay, that didn't work. But basically, if you die as him, he's able to just go into a ghostly state and is able to choose where he respawns, basically. And he gives that same ability to Mantis and Star-Lord as well. And then for the ultimate, if you remember Mercy from Overwatch, he's able to revive any allies that have just died, giving them a little bit of a damage resistance there as well. And that's basically it for Adam Warlock here. Really, really cool support. So let's end off the video by talking about Jeff the Land Shark. Obviously the cutest character in the game. These are all of his abilities. Has teams up there with Lunar Snow and Groot. And those are all of his abilities. So for the primary fire, spits out water to heal all allies. His alternate fire shoots out these projectiles, which is much faster than it was in the beta. Holy. Yeah, whole lot of damage. LB goes underground, can also climb up walls, can just chill there if he wants to. Really, really cool, can resurface, and then he can also send out bubbles, which basically work as health packs, will give bonus health to allies that touch them. And then for the ultimate, which is, in my opinion, the best ult in the game, he can just eat the entire enemy team, and then if he wants to, he can just spit them out off the map. Like so. And that's Jeff. A lot of healing, a lot of damage, a lot of fun. And yeah, that is every single character inside of Marvel Rivals. Sorry if I got a little bit rushed on some heroes. I'm doing this all in one take, so it's very much draining, and some kits are just way more easier to explain than others. Hopefully I did a good job. If you enjoyed these quick basic breakdowns of the heroes kits, leave a like and subscribe. I might do in-depth breakdowns. I want to understand these characters some more, but these are all the basic stuff that you need to know about these heroes. So yeah, that's it from me here today. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.